Hello and welcome to the Pink Hair Girl podcast. My name is Sally Jane and it is lovely to have you back with me again today. Rachel's not feeling very well, so she is not going to podcast today. And the rest of the week is just getting more crazy and busy, so I thought if I didn't do it now, then it would be another whole week that had gone by and I hadn't got this done. So, yes, you've just got me today. Tomorrow is Caleb's birthday, and on the weekend we're going away to stay over at friends of ours in, I want to say Brompton Grove, but I think it's Bromsgrove, and then we're going to Warwick Castle on Sunday for Caleb's birthday. So, and on Friday, because today's Wednesday, so Thursday's Caleb's birthday weekend, we're going away. Friday, our shipping arrives, which, bit of a mixed blessing, really. I'm really looking forward to having my yarn again, of course. And that will be nice. And there are some kitchen odds and ends and bits and pieces and stuff. But I was trying to explain to a friend of mine that is going to be moving later this year or early next year. When you're packing up, when you moving everything, when you're kind of giving up your whole house, it feels important to pack up some of your things to take with you. It feels like a connection between the things that you're giving up everything, so it feels important to take some stuff with you. But I'm finding now that I'm here and have been here for a while, separated from my stuff, suddenly it doesn't seem quite as important. Besides the yarn, let's not, even that probably I could have thinned down a bit actually. I'm kind of enjoying the minimalist living. I'm kind of enjoying having less stuff and having that separation from it, almost kind of you don't need it as much. I mean, there are some kitchen bits and pieces that make life a bit easier that but even those I probably could have bought here and replaced again. It's a strange feeling, really, because I know that it was important to pack those things. For the me that was leaving Cape Town, it was important to take those things. For the me that's here now, it seems like a lot of hassle to try and carry all those up 2 flights of stairs. But there are really some things that I'm looking forward to having. There are some extra winter coats that I put in and some shoes and the boys' Lego and things like that. I mean, so there are really things of value in there. But it is amazing how you can get used to having a lot less. I'm not sure that I could ever do one of those completely minimal challenges, where you've got, I think there's one where you have only 30 items of clothing in your whole wardrobe. And then there's another one where you have 100 things. It's called something, I don't know what the exact hashtag is. Something like living with 100 things or I know a friend of mine did it, but I mean, he stays on his own. And the idea is, besides your consumables, so your toothbrush, toothpaste, those sorts of things don't count, obviously, towards your 100. But there is a thing where you try to only have 100 things. I'm not sure if in a family of 5 that means 500 things. But just go around your house and count how many things you have. I mean, it's a lot. So, yes, I don't think I could be completely minimalist, but there is a certain amount of me that is enjoying how much easier it is to tidy up with less clutter around. So, yeah. Anyway, it will be fun to be reunited with some of our stuff. And let's just hope that there is no rain on Friday, because, yeah, unpacking and carrying all that stuff upstairs. My aim is, because you have to unpack the cube yourself, which was, we didn't get a moving company and they pack up your whole house and they unpack it for you. We got kind of you pack it yourself. Those of you on Instagram might have seen that you kind of get an empty box and then you pack everything in there yourself, and you get about an hour, 2 hours to pack it, and the same. They arrive, they open your box, and you have 2 hours to unpack it again. So it's a 6 cubic meter box. So the thought was to try and unpack it all from the van onto the grass or onto the sort of area outside the flat, and then to carry it upstairs once that part is done. You're not to try to kind of carry it up the stairs, because only Emma and I, the children, I mean, they'll help, but obviously they can't really carry very heavy things upstairs. So we'll see. Let's talk about, what else can we talk about? I am now 40. But, age is such a number. I mean, what does it matter? Yeah, I don't feel much older. Although looking back, there is a sense of, I don't know, is it wisdom or a sense of being more relaxed in yourself, kind of knowing who you are better. And I certainly wouldn't give that up to have been in my 20s again, or teens or 20s, which there's a certain, this is me, this is who I'm comfortable with, this is the place I've come to, kind of through all the angst. And no, I mean, that's not true. There are plenty of things still that are being an adult is not easy. That's what I keep telling my children. Don't rush into being an adult, because this adulting thing is not always so much fun. But there is a sense of identity. There is a sense of, I think, being more comfortable with who you are, kind of, and I think that comfortableness shouldn't be stagnation. I think that we should always be challenging ourselves to be better and to doing things and all of that. So it's not that sense of kind of comfortable that means not doing anything. I think it's a sense of comfortable that means that there is the anxiety around who likes me and who doesn't, and who am I, and identity and all the rest, that's sort of over. I really don't know if I'm explaining that very well. But yeah, I mean, essentially I don't feel that much different than I did when I turned 30, for example. But life experience under the belt and all that sort of thing. And yeah, so I had a birthday and it was really lovely. Emma had the day off and the children really spoiled me. Then my sister came and brought a whole lot of gifts and things. It was really, really sweet of her. And then she took me out to tea. We went to a lovely little vintage tea shop, and I think she's got a picture of us that they made me wear a badge that says it's my birthday. So of course then in the tea shop everybody wanted to sing happy birthday to me. It was like a sort of a vintage tea shop. It's called Dottie's Tea Shop, I think, or Dottie's Tea something. Anyway, and so it's like all these vintage and with the cups and saucers and everything don't really match, and so it was really nice. So I went there with my sister for tea, and then we found a local yarn shop on the way home, which was very nice. And they have a knitting group that gets together, but it is going to be on the day on Tuesdays when I have to help at Titus's Beavers, which I will tell you about in a minute. So yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to go to that, but it's all right. I'm okay. We're still sort of finding our feet. I don't need to join everything right now. There's a sense of slowly doing things. As you mentioned, everything is new. Every shop you go to, when you drive somewhere, everywhere is kind of discovering, and it's new, and the people are new, and so there's a constant learning and a constant kind of, when you've lived somewhere for a while, you kind of slip into a routine of everything, whereas there's a lot of thinking involved when you're new, because you try to figure out where stuff is and how you get there and who the people are and introductions and that kind of first awkwardness before you really get to know everybody and things like that and settle down. So I find it takes quite a lot of my energy, actually. I really find this has been challenging in some ways. Something really stupid, like I have to I'm going to talk about the prizes for the giveaway in a minute, and then I have to apologize profusely to two people that I'm supposed to have posted their prizes when I got to England, and it seems ridiculous. I mean, there is a post office and you just have to go to the post office and post it, but it feels like quite a daunting thing because the whole system's always different, things are different, and the idea of where do I find the right envelopes to post the things in, probably Amazon, or if I just Google it, yes, I'll find, but it's all of these sort of things. Everything is new and everything is different, and just doing something really simple like going to the post office is suddenly quite different. And so you tend to put off some of these things. I promise that I will post you your prizes, I really do. I think it is Avril and Lily Meyer who are waiting for their prizes from me, and I will post them, I promise. I did say to Avril I was very sorry and I'd be posting them soon, and she assured me that she didn't think she would run out of stash anytime soon, so hopefully I can get her prize to her before she does run out of something to knit. I had a birthday, and then on the weekend my sister and Emma arranged a surprise picnic for me in Kingston Park, and it was really lovely, and friends of mine came, and it was really, really nice, very special. My sister bakes cakes, and she baked a really beautiful cake for me, so that was very nice. And then there were some friends of ours that came, and we're going to Bromsgrove where they are, but they had come down here, so they stayed over that night with us, and the next day we went to Hampton Court Palace. So generally it's been busy, but it's been good. So I got some, I think while we're talking about birthdays, I got some sort of, I'm not going to tell you all the presents and stuff, it's a bit, anyway, just I got these nice earrings from my one friend while I'm thinking about that. And then I'll show you the more sort of yarny kind of related things, because you don't want to know every single present I got for my birthday. Right, so my husband very kindly got me now I would call this a nostopin, but I know some people call it a nostopina, pronouncing the E, or nostopini, or pinny. I've heard different pronunciations. Now it is a Scandinavian word, Norwegian, I think. So I presume somebody like Disa from the Disa's Craftwork podcast would be, or somebody in Scandinavia would probably be the best to kind of tell us how exactly you say that. This is for winding yarn, obviously. So I got that from my husband. I also got perfume and other things from him, but that was the sort of yarn related thing. And then from my friend Sharon, who came to the picnic, I got this knit global, and it's called Candy sock yarn. It's a 75% superwash, 25% nylon, and I like that this is pinks and purples and oranges. Isn't that nice? See if I can get a okay, it doesn't always focus very well, does it? But anyway, that's very pretty yarn from Sharon, so thank you very much. And then it wasn't, I showed you last week the present that Sally gave me for my birthday. It arrived a little bit before my birthday. Now what did I do with it? Oh, here we go. So what I did was I cast on my birthday. It was the yarn blank that she gave me with the flowers on. It's a little bit brighter than that. Those pinks are a little bit more sort of brightish pink, but anyway. And I said, this is my first time knitting from a yarn blank, and I am making, and I always forget this sock pattern's name. Gosh, it's specifically for speckled yarn. A lot of the speckled yarns that are out at the moment, and I actually think that my yarn is a little bit too variegated for it. Let me just quickly look up the name I put it on my Instagram. Speckled Space Socks, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's got kind of like arrows. It makes a kind of an arrow here, and then the next bit will sort of, after you get to the edge, then it'll be the kind of next, like almost like chevrons, really like chevrons across the top of the sock. And I think mine is a little bit variegated, to be completely honest with you. Let's just see if I can get it to focus on that. There we go. So I think it's a little bit variegated, but it's all right. I'm quite enjoying it. So yeah, I've actually done I've done the biggest size on this. So I think it's on 72 stitches, because I was finding at the moment, I'm not sure if it's that I'm knitting tight or that I'm forgetting to put extra stitches in my arch, but I'm finding some of my socks at the moment a little bit tight. So and I realize I don't think I have the one that I want to show you. I put them on Instagram. I thought I had everything here, but the one bag I don't think I have is my opal socks in the Sally yarn. I'll put a picture in, and that one actually is a little bit tight on the foot. I think it will loosen up. I think also that some of the yarns, when you get 400 meters on 100 grams, they're a little bit thinner than some of the other sock yarns. You know, sock yarns can range anything from, I've seen some sock yarns at 320 or 360 meters right up to 410. So obviously they get a bit thinner, and I'm thinking that some of those that have more yardage, like the opals and things like that, actually I probably should go up a size. Although on the foot, I've got a narrow foot, so it's not, the foot is actually fits fine. It's much more the heel. I should really just put extra stitches back. Oops. I should really just put extra stitches increase before I do the heel. But anyway, we'll see. This is a heel flap pattern, actually, so it'll be interesting. I haven't knitted one of those in a while, so that will be quite interesting. This yarn was... No, I know I did bring the thingy with me this time. That was one of the ones I thought that I brought here. You know, you can be as organized as you like, and then you always forget something. Well, what I should just do is look on that same Instagram picture, because I had written down what it was. It's called Yorkshire Dales yarn, and that was the one that's the sock blanket that Sally had got me for my birthday. So I cast it on my birthday. A couple of other people cast on my birthday, one of those being Avril, and she's already finished her project. She was only knitting a baby sweater, but still, she's finished. I'm not even finished anywhere near. It's going to be a while. But yes, so that's the socks I cast on my birthday yarn. So yes, I had a really lovely day. It was very, very nice. So the other present I got, which was near my birthday, but it wasn't entirely a birthday present. Oh, here, of course, is what I was looking for earlier. It was the card from the Yorkshire Dales yarn. Oh, come on, little camera. Sometimes, of course, it's very hard to see what it's focusing on because I have to hide behind it. Yorkshire Dales yarn by Homespun Wonders. And that was the yarn that Sally had given me for my birthday. Right. So, the other present I got was a housewarming present from Caroline, who's Quilter Caroline on Instagram. And she sent us all a present. So there was some roving, which is merino and tassel silk roving for Rachel to spin in this beautiful sort of purpley. I'm not going to take it out of there, but it's kind of a deep purple with black and white in there. The purple's not showing up so well, but anyway. And there was a colouring book for the boys. And then there was some lovely yarn for me. There was a Drops Alpaca Lace, which is 70% alpaca and 30% silk. Isn't that gorgeous? And I also got this alpaca, 90% alpaca, 10% nylon. And this is from British Bred Alpacas by Fibre Harvest. So that is really gorgeous in jade colorway. So I got those yarns and some needles. These are the, I think they are, these are the ones that are called the cubics, the sort of square knit pros in a size 4. So we've got some of those and then some lovely tea. All these lovely different kinds of teas. So thank you so much, Caroline. Caroline also sent Rachel and I a copy of her new pattern called Mountain Air. I'll put that picture in. And it is a the Mountain Air shawl is part of the Mountains pattern collection. Features a garter body which gradually gives way to a delicate lace reminiscent of the cloud cover over the mountains. The pattern contains instructions for a 2-color elongated crescent shawl which uses a garter body with an eyelet lace bands and a lace border. It's easy to knit and wear, knit from the top down all in one piece. It uses a fingering weight yarn of about 680 to 730 meters of fingering weight yarn. So that is her beautiful Mountain Air pattern. And have a check that out on Ravelry because it's really, really pretty. I'll put a couple of these pictures in that aren't going to show very well on here. So thank you so much, Caroline. That was really, really sweet of you. I got another pattern for my birthday from Yonder Woman. So thank you so much, Melinda. That was very, very kind of you. And it's called Radical Red. And it's a light lace sweater from Sock Yarn. and it's really, really pretty. Thank you so much. That was very, very kind of you. And I'm going to enjoy knitting up some of these patterns. Talking about patterns, Claire Devine has released a whole collection that she's been doing, culminating in her first garment design. She's mostly up until this point done a lot of socks and some accessories, but she did her first garment design recently, and it's a beautiful cardigan in Aran weight. I unfortunately don't have any Aran weight in my stash, so I'm going to have to wait until I get a bit of that to try it out. But it is called Kimmeridge. Is it Kimmeridge? I don't know if I'm saying that. Kimmeridge, which is a cardigan. It's all part of her collection, which is called From Dorset with Love, and there's a whole range in that collection, socks and hats and etc, etc. But this I wonder if it's Kimmeridge, I don't know, somebody will have to correct me on that one, because how places are written are not necessarily in any way indicative of how they say it, especially here in England. Emma is in Portsmouth today, and he wanted to say Portsmouth, and I was like, no, that's Portsmouth. And of course there are many other places, the Thames, for example, you don't say Thames, and all, so I'm sure I'm not necessarily saying that right. It's a really, really lovely cardigan in Aran weight, so certainly be sure to check that out if you're wanting a... what I love about Claire's patterns is that they're often simple yet well thought out, elegant designs with some really nice features to them without being fussy or difficult to knit. So it's a really pretty cardigan with some almost like ribbing, sort of they kind of garter rib up the front. The back is plain, and then a really nice garter band that goes around the top. So yes, check that out, especially if you're a fan of Claire's patterns. Her patterns are always extremely well written, and always clean lines, simple, easy, elegant, and fun to knit, which is the ideal, isn't it? So yes, have a check out on that one too if you're looking for a cardigan pattern. As I say, it is a Aran weight, which unfortunately I don't have any Aran, or certainly not a cardigan quantity in my stash, but yes, I would really like to do that one. I'm hoping that some of her next sweaters might come out in a fingering weight. Moving on, besides the socks, what else have I been knitting? Briefly, some of the things don't have a lot to show. I knitted quite a bit more on the cowl that I'm doing for my sister. So I'm almost finished the second ball of yarn. Just got that tiny little bit left, and then it will use another sort of half. So it'll be these are 50-gram balls. So I've done 100 so far, and I probably need about another 25-ish grams. So yeah, that's how that's coming on. And then I'm going to ask her what she thinks of the contrast, if she likes that the backing that I have got is very, very similar, or if she would like me to try and find something that has a little bit more contrast to it. So I need to ask her about that. Then my So Faded sweater, I did put a picture today up on Instagram to show the progress. Oops. Right, so here is my So Faded sweater. I think last time I showed you I had kind of just split off there for the armhole. Now it is not quite as washed out as this. The colors are a little bit brighter. It's showing it has a lot more white than it really is. So there are kind of two colors of pink. Let me do that. There are two colors of pink, the brighter one at the top, and then fades into this sort of one here, and then it faded into a yellowy pink here, and then it faded into a yellow with more blues and greens in it, and then it faded into the green here. And then there was the question about whether I was going to do, I've got 2 more balls of yarn left, and the question was whether to add this one in and then this one, or just to put this one. and I think I'm just going to put this one. Why is because I think it's going to be long enough like that, and then what it's going to do is this one's got quite a bit of the dark, the black in it, and then I think it'll fade quite nicely into this one that's got the more black and blue, whereas this one actually has very little darker spots in it, and I think it's almost going to be a very big section of, yeah, I mean, those two fade quite well together, but I think that's going to fade better with that. Also, what I think it's going to look more balanced, because there are 2 pinks, 2 yellows, and then 2 kind of bluey, greeny colors. And I think that's going to divide it into 3 sections. It looks more balanced than at the bottom suddenly, and I think it's going to be too long then. So I think that's how it's going to end. Now, this one, and then with that one being the last one there on the bottom. So this is my So Faded sweater, and I'm really, really pleased I decided to make a sweater and not to do the shawl, although I actually have quite a lot of yarn left of most of the colours. Look, some of them need to be put back on because they're going to need to be sleeves, part of the sleeves. So some of them I will have a bit less of, but there is her new pattern called Free Your Fade, which I think uses a little bit less. No, it doesn't seem to use less. It still uses about 600 meters, maybe. It's a slightly different shape to the Find Your Fade. It's got a lot more eyelets in it. Still looks rather big. I thought maybe it would be a little bit smaller. I will see whether I choose between this one or the other one. I will decide. But I can probably still get away with the shawl out of the quantities that I've got left. I'll just have to fiddle it around a little bit. So anyway, we'll figure that out as we go along. It's a slightly different shape. The shape of the other one is sort of like a goes up with a decrease down the middle. It kind of goes this way. This is much more, one looks like the shape of my Organized Chaos shawl. So there will be enough yarn to do something. And then if I don't use this one for the sweater, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one to make my sister the Mike 2.0 that I made for her husband. I'm going to make her the slouchy beanie out of that, because she will really like this color. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So yes, one more color to go on the bottom here, and then the sleeves, and then it's done. Very exciting. Of course, the sleeves always take so long, because it means you always think it's just the sleeves, but actually by the time you've knitted 2 sleeves, you almost knitted as much knitting as when you've knitted a whole body. But anyway, so that is my So Faded sweater, which is very pretty. You know, the thing is, normally when you knit an entire garter, stocking stitch sweater, it gets a bit boring. But when you're coming to the fade, so what you're doing is, oh sorry, my shawl is coming off. When you get to the fades, you know, you're measuring how long until the fade, then you're doing your couple of faded rows, and then you're moving on to the next color and counting up when you've got your next. So it keeps it interesting, and it keeps it so it doesn't get boring. You're not just knitting endless stocking stitch. And I actually really like it for TV knitting. When I don't want to necessarily be counting and concentrating and looking at a pattern and seeing what I'm doing, it's nice to kind of, you know, knit that. So when you're tired in the evening, you don't always want to think. Then the other thing that I have been knitting is the Winter is Coming larger version, which Sally Wool Diaries calls my Winter is Coming Grande. The large version. So yes, that is coming along. So there's the top part. It's going to need a really hectic blocking, because you can't even see, there's the snowy bit. You can't see it so well, and the waves. And then it's going down. We've done the dragon stitch down there, and then it needs the border. So yes, that is coming along quite well, and I am really enjoying knitting this. And hopefully that will be finished soon. Fortunately, my stuff for blocking is coming, because this is going to need quite a serious good old block to get it out. This is a lace weight that I'm using at the moment, which is a sort of a gradient yarn, but I will do a fingering weight version for the pattern as well, so there'll be an option of both of those. And that's actually what I'm wearing now. You'll see this is the sort of Charlotte small version of the Winter is Coming, And now I'm making a bigger one. This is really nice if you just want a little something around your neck, but this is going to be a much bigger, longer version. It's already very long on the needles. I need to count after my dragon stitch section what my stitch count is on at the moment, but it is quite, it is quite long. Well, I'm getting all tangled up in my yarn now. Yeah, it's going to be a good long, hopefully deep, big shawl. So people have been asking me to do a larger version of that for a very long time, so finally I'm onto that with my, I really hope I'm not playing yarn chicken. That's my little bit left for the icicle section, this little bit here, but of course the rows are very long now, so I might be playing yarn chicken, so let's hope not. Yes, so I was sitting that. I finished the one of my Sally socks, as I said. I think that's probably most of the things I've been working on, actually. Oh, what's in here? Oh, the Sally socks that I said I didn't bring. Here's the one I finished. It just needs, so it's a rounded toe and a fish lips kiss heel, twisted ribbing. It just needs its end sewn in, and I haven't cast on the next one yet. So there's the yarn ready to go for the next one. So that's the Opal Rainforest yarn. So that's what I finished. And I think that's probably all that I have been doing at the moment. Not a huge amount of finished objects, but plenty of sort of knitting going along on stuff. So that's great. What I wanted to mention this episode, that now that it is June, this is the last month to get your entries in if you have knitted anything in South African yarn or from a South African designer for the Wonders of the World knit along of the Africa leg. I have actually put a whole pile of all the prizes over there, but I think rather than rustling the papers and taking each one out, what I'm going to do is just do a collection of the photos of each prize and who it's by at the end now, just to remind you of all the prizes that are available to win in the knit along. And there are quite a lot. There are project bags, there is yarn, there is notions pouches, there is colouring in books from South Africa, there is shawl quantities of yarn. So there are really, really, really nice prizes. So please get your entries in by the end of the month, because that's going to be when it finishes. It's been a good knit along. I've seen peeps, as finished objects, people keep popping them in as they finish, and that's great. But it's going to be some excellent prizes. So yeah, look forward to seeing your finished objects. And thanks for joining me this week. And hopefully Rachel will feel better next time, and then she'll be able to join us again. If I've had a slight problem with my computer in that the fan on my laptop is very loud. Something's been kicking in on the fan. Because it is a Mac, it's a MacBook Pro that I do my recording on. The geek is a little bit worried about just opening it up to clean out what probably just dust in the fan. But do let me know. I have put the external mic, and I'm hoping to put the background sound down so you won't be able to hear it. But if it is a problem and you're battling to hear, if the fan is, just let me know if it's actually audible, because the problem is when I edit this now, I'm still going to be listening to it with the fan running in the background. So I'm not really going to be able to tell if it's in the video that I'm hearing the fan or if it's just that the fan is kicked in on the actual computer. So please just let me know if it's really annoying, because I obviously need to try and get that fixed. And yeah, computers, the technology side of this that I'm not very au fait with or really enjoy doing anything about. So hopefully when the geek has time, he can help me fix that. Yes, next time you see us, we will have all our belongings again, and hopefully lots more finished objects and things to show you. So thanks so much for joining me, and we'll chat again next time. Bye.